We are going to talk about Slim's evaluation here. So the first thing to understand is that it's a spectrum. So low, medium, high doesn't mean like good, bad, and great. It gives you an idea of, it's like a sliding scale. So I'll explain as we go. Um, so the first thing you're going to notice is I pop Slim into the testing area, and then what I'm looking for is how does he approach a new situation, new environment. It's a room that they haven't really been in, and obstacles they haven't seen before. And how does he take it? Does he take it with stride? Is his tail high? Is he checking out all the new obstacles, or is he like whining in a corner? And so what you're going to notice is he kind of disappears almost from the camera, and he comes right to the bottom because he's standing right next to me. I'm on the other side of the fence, and he's sitting there and he's kind of whining, and he's like, are you sure this new situation is a good idea? I'm not super sure. And then he kind of just stayed there. So the next thing you'll see is that I get into the testing area, and he comes scurrying over, and he's into my lap. So I gave him a high for assertiveness. So that's the next one we're looking for, is how does he approach me? How does he approach the tester? Does he like army crawl over because he's nervous? Does he politely crawl into my lap, or does he jump into my lap and he's trying to get as close to my face as he can? It was the last one. He just wanted to be by my face as fast as he could. And so what this looks like in real life is a low assertive dog, I always use like a toddler with a piece of pizza. So a low assertive dog is probably going to look around. He might sneak over and see if the toddler's going to like protest. And if not, he might take the pizza. A medium assertive dog is probably going to make sure nobody's watching. He's going to sneak over, and he's probably then just going to take the pizza. And a high assertive dog is the one that's not even checking. He's running over, and he's probably just going to take it. Yeah, they often sometimes don't have personal space either. So he really wanted to be as close as he could. Next thing we're looking for is confidence level. And this is kind of looked out throughout the test. So I did score him as a medium. If what we saw at the beginning with the tail down and the whining, if we saw that through the whole test, I would have scored him a low, but that was not the case. He warmed up after a minute with some encouragement. He was very happy to try things. You saw his tail went up very quickly. He tried all of my obstacles. There was nothing that put him off. There was really nothing that he wouldn't try. So confidence level is also something that we build into a dog. So all dogs should be given the opportunity to be encouraged, empowered, and show that they can do things. So I do think that this will build with age. He's just a baby right now. Motivation level, or workability. How badly do they want to please their people and do what you're asking? He got a medium. Because he was more focused on trying to cuddle with me and sit in my lap. So he didn't necessarily want to like go and try all of the things. So it was a little bit tricky. But he still kind of played the games, and he still sort of chased my toys, and he tried the bridge. And then he would come back and he would check in. So he is motivated. He does want to please you, but at the same time, he also just wants you to love his soul so bad. Nerve strength, resiliency. So how do they handle stress? So again, I scored him a medium. Because overall in the test, after that initial like shock of getting put into the testing area, nothing kind of steered, like he didn't waver from the course. He was kind of middle of the road after that. Nothing really put him off. He wasn't whining at anything. He wasn't stressed by any of the obstacles. He wasn't stressed once he knew that he was kind of told that he could do it. He was good. So I think overall, he might take new situations. It might take a minute or two to warm up. And then I think he'll come around. So I do think that he'll be able to handle stress again if new environments and new experiences are presented as positive, and he's given those opportunities to try new things and feel good about it. So this is just the kind of puppy that we make sure we don't want to be coddling them. So for example, when I call the puppies out of the fence, and you can see at the bottom, there's like this tiny little lip. They have to get over that. So for a puppy that doesn't want to try the stairs, or doesn't want to try getting over that little lip, or doesn't want to try certain things, if we go in and rescue them and are like, oh, baby, talk with that puppy, he's going to be like, oh yeah, I am a baby. I am scary, right? He's going to fill into those feelings that you are projecting on him, instead of letting him figuring it out. He can do it, encouraging him, empowering him, and showing him that he's a big, strong, confident boy and he can do it, he's going to come leaps and bounds. Same thing, translating this to crate training. So far, it's great. We've had no issues. But if this puppy starts waking at night or you're nervous to put him in the crate during the day and he's like, well, if you're not sure, I'm not sure, he's going to feed into that. Whereas if you're like, no, the crate is great. We like the crate. This is the boundaries and this is what's happening. He's going to be fantastic. So he's going to appreciate those boundaries of knowing what you're expecting of him. Touch tolerance. I gave him a medium because normally I know that he's quite high to touch tolerance. So this is not how much a puppy enjoys it, it's how tolerant they are. So we're not expecting a puppy or a dog to enjoy being handled at the vet or the groomers necessarily, but we do want them to be tolerant to it. And so this is something we can build into them by daily massages. We do our 10-step handling, exposing to combs on the eyes and things like that. So in day-to-day life, Slim is quite touch tolerant. He is very good with the kids. He's very good with the grooming and all of those things. During the test, I think in a new situation, so this may translate to like the vet or the groomer at the moment, that he might be like, I don't know if I like this. He was less tolerant during the temperament testing in the video. You can see that he's okay. He lets me flip him on his back, but he's kind of squirmy. Whereas a high puppy that has a high touch tolerance really kind of like melts into the massage. Next thing you'll see is energy level. I gave him a medium. A low energy puppy like often does a lot of sitting, or they only ever walk through the evaluation, and a high energy puppy just spins for circles and they go running and they never really kind of chill out. Whereas a medium energy dog, you can see that there's times where he walks, there's times where he's like running around, but he doesn't really take any breaks. So he's kind of middle of the road there. Sound and sight sensitivity. So what you're going to see is I take like a Fisher-Price popper and I shake it. And what I'm looking for is not if he notices, but I'm looking for whether he notices and if he recovers or he's stressed by it. And I was surprised. So day-to-day life, I would say Slim is more sensitive to quick movements or loud sounds. He's often kind of retreating. Whereas in the test, I was very surprised to notice that he didn't even notice the popper. And in fact, when I put it on the ground, he came running over to explore it. So I did score him a medium because I want everybody to keep working on these things with their dogs. I want you to continue exposing your puppy to sounds, gradually working on volume and things like that, so that once you're out in the big world, things aren't scary. And sight sensitivity. So I kind of pop up the tunnel and I gave him a low because he didn't even notice, which I was really surprised because normally he's a little bit of a scaredy cat with those things. But in the test, he didn't even notice. Prey drive. How badly do they want to chase things? And this will also translate to how badly do they want to chase the running children in the house. He got a medium. Because he still liked to chase some of the toys and play with a few things, but he distracted very easily. So he's probably still going to enjoy like a game of tug or games that involve toys. So a little bit of a prey drive is kind of nice so that they are distractible and you can replace and they will kind of play games with toys. On the flip side, a really intense prey drive can be harder to manage if you're not prepared for that. So whereas sometimes they don't give up on that prey until they've succeeded with their hunt, I guess, right? So yeah, he was kind of in the middle. I would say he's almost on the lower side, but he still kind of liked the toys. Human focus. Okay, so I found him to be very human focused. What you notice is he would rather be with me than trying the things. So he did try the things, which I was happy to see. But at the beginning, he was happy to... Oh, my phone's ringing. Sorry, my phone rang and then it stopped the video. He would have rather been with me, and then you'll really notice this when at the end I let Kiva in to see how dog friendly, and he didn't even approach her. He came running to me. So there are dogs and there are human dogs, and when the going gets tough, which one do they retreat to? And he very much came to me. Tenderheartedness. Okay, so you'll see I like throw a little tantrum on the floor and I'm pretending to cry, and he was kind of funny. Often they like run over and they stay, whereas he ran over And then he was like, oh, okay, I don't really care. And then he came over, and then you'll see it kind of ends where he just like stays under my neck. And he's like, no, I'll just stay here. So these are the dogs that you hear about when people say that, like, I was sick in bed for a week and the dog never left my side. It's a highly tender-hearted puppy that is knows when you have a bad day. That being said, a home that struggles with a lot of big emotions or anxiety or depression, the puppy is going to want to fix everything. And if that is more than the puppy can fix, often those puppies crumble. So we want to be sensitive to that as well. But for a well-rounded, average home, a highly tender-hearted puppy is usually a joy. Yeah, and then we already talked about dog friendliness. He really didn't care that Kiva came to join. So a home that has a dog and is looking for a playmate, he wouldn't be my choice. But for humans, he's gonna be lovely. So let me know if you have any questions.